because people will only judge you according to their own abilities. If they can't do it for them, they're going to say you can't do it. If they are afraid for themselves and they curl up in a corner, then they're going to be afraid for you. True story right here. I saw this guy. One day I was walking. I was actually in the mall and I saw this dude and he was on the ground. But it was a wheelchair like right behind him. It was a wheelchair right behind him. This was a few years ago. And I walked by and people, I saw people looking at him and as they walked by, they didn't say nothing. But I'm like, hey, what's going on, my man? You need some help? He was like, sure. So I helped him up into the wheelchair. And I said, what's up, man? Did somebody push you out of the wheelchair? He said, nah, man, he said, nah, didn't nobody push me. He said, but, man, it's no big deal, though, because, man, I fall out the wheelchair at least 20 times a day. I'm like, 20? I said, you fall out of the wheelchair 20 times a day? Like, how do you fall out of a wheelchair 20 times in a day? He said, man, because I'm paralyzed. He said, I'm paralyzed from the waist down. But when I was paralyzed years ago, the doctor told me that the percentage of me ever walking again was like 2 or 3%. And he said, the doctor didn't say it was 100% chance that I'll never walk again. So I believe that the 2%, the 3% is enough for me to believe in. So he said every day he lift his body up and try to thrust himself onto his feet. And he feels like any day now it's gonna work, it's gonna happen. He don't care who don't believe. He don't care about the 97% of his chances that's saying he can't do it. He don't care about the people that look at him, that walk by him, because one day he feels like he's gonna be able to get up and he's gonna walk. And then he's going to be able to pick up that wheelchair, put it in his car, and probably go donate it to another hospital. Because one day he ain't going to feel like he going to need it. But we sitting up here with 2 legs that's full of life. And we ain't going to get up and walk nowhere. We ain't going to get up and run. We ain't going to get up and jog. Oh, my ankle hurt. I can't walk today. Oh, man, I didn't go to sleep until 2 o'clock in the morning. I need some sleep. Man, if I go out there, people going to laugh at me because I'm overweight. So what if you overweight? How do you think you're going to change? How do you think it's going to change if you don't try? How do you think it's going to change? It's not going to happen because it's supposed to. See, you praying and you praying in front of the door. You praying in front of the door and you ain't twisting the knob because that door been open. It's been somebody that's willing to help you. You just scared to reach out. Because it's fear, that fear developed. Well, let me let you know something. Let me remind you, 24, baby. You got 24 seconds shot clock going on. A 24-hour shot clock going on. You better take your best shot. You better not be so afraid to where you can't take your best shot. Because you walking around with them healthy legs and you don't want to use them. What you need to do is you need to go to a hospital full of people that got disabilities. Somebody got their arm cut off, they got their arm sliced off, or a young kid had a disease or something and he had to amputate his arm. And with your arms, you don't want to do nothing with. You don't want to help nobody. You don't want to lend a helping hand. Paralyzed men that used to be in full strength get into a car accident and lose it. And you don't want to get up and run and jog, and you don't want to get up and walk to work. You don't want to get up and walk to the bus because you ain't got no car, you ain't got no ride, so you can't get there. Well, if you want to be successful in life, you got to stop caring what people think, and you got to start thinking for yourself, and you got to start believing in you. I challenge everybody out there that's listening, in the crowd, and everybody that's going to listen when this thing get put on the internet. Go look at yourself in the mirror and start declaring stuff over your own life. Start telling you what you going to do. Because 9 times out of 10, you will break a promise that you make to me. You will break a promise that you will make to your mom and your dad. You will break a promise that you make to your kid. Because you could lie to them and get away with it. You could lie and then hide. You could lie in their face and then hide. But at the end of the day, at the end of the night, when all of the lights is turned off, the TV is turned off, and it's just you in that bed, the thoughts that you have, the promises that you made, and God listening to your thoughts, to the thoughts that you're about to think, you can't lie. You can't lie to yourself, because only you know. So I challenge you to go look in the mirror, look at yourself, and evaluate your own self, and then start declaring, today is my day. Today I'm going to get up and today I'm going to do it. I wasted 20 seconds. I got 4 seconds left. I got 3 seconds left. I got 2 seconds left. And you already know MJ is the king of taking the last shot on that court. If it's 1 second left and we down by 3 at least, anything is possible. We can make that shot. If it's 1 second left, if we got enough for 1 shot and we only losing by 3 or less, you still got a shot to win. And if you ain't dead, you still got a shot to win. So lift yourself up, look yourself in the mirror, and make a promise to yourself. Not that you're going to do something for 30 days. Make a daily challenge to yourself. Today, we not going to care what nobody say. We not going to care what nobody think. If you haven't fell out of the wheelchair more than 20 times in a day, you haven't failed enough. You haven't fell out of that wheelchair enough. That's what that man in that wheelchair told me. He said, if I don't try at least 20 times in a day, then I feel like I probably missed out on my opportunity. He said, because if it's going to take me 100 times to fall out of this wheelchair before I start walking, then it's worth it when I walk. It's worth it once I start doing it. So you may feel like, man, I'm killing myself, man. I'm hurting myself. What does that matter, though? What does that matter? Because later on in that book of Romans, I read, it says, for I reckon the struggles and the hard times of this present day won't even be able to be compared to the glory that's going to be revealed in you in the end. So you think life is super hard right now. You think it's just the most hardest thing. But as hard as it get, if it got 10 times harder, and it's already on like the millionth notch, just to think the blessing that's going to happen in your life if you just try, if you just keep going, if you don't give up. Just a thing. The blessing ain't even going to be able to be the pain ain't going to even be able to be compared to the blessing that comes in the end. Man, that's powerful. So what if some don't believe? So what if some don't believe? Does that make the plan that God has for your life of any less effect? Does that affect anything that's going on in your life if they don't believe? Man, if you got somebody in your life that you're trying to hold back, man, push them forward. Push them. Tell them to go succeed. If it's somebody that you holding back, man, push them. If somebody that's holding you back, let them go. You need to evaluate everything that's going on in your life, and you need to start letting things go. Because everything is a shackle. Everything is a chain. You being influenced by people that ain't door openers. Get around some door openers. Get around some door openers. Have you ever locked your keys in a car and you have to call AAA? Man, AAA will come and they got to open your door for you. You lost your keys, but they'll come and open your door. You got to get around people that no matter what, even if you lose your mind, they'll come and help you open your mind back up. They'll come and they'll influence you. You got to have people that'll come and help you open your door. And I'm telling you, you will make it. You will make it, but you got to be tired. You got to be sick and tired. You got to be sick and tired of listening to people's disbelief in you. You got to be tired. You got to be tired. So what if some don't believe? Does that make the word of God of any less effect? God forbid. So let God be true and everybody else a liar. So when you stand on a mountain, you stand on a pedestal, Don't call them liars. Try to pick them up though. You know, because then at that point they'll believe in you. They'll believe in you. Don't be cocky. Don't be big-headed when you make it. Be appreciative. Don't tell people I told you so, but just go back and help them and say, look, man, I did it. Now you could do it too. Even though you didn't believe in me, I'm going to come back and I'm still going to believe in you. Because we was on the same path. Don't you hate when you're on the same path with somebody and then they succeed, but you don't because you quit? You start running 3 miles with somebody, you stop at 1.5 miles, and then they finish the 3 miles, and then they come back and get you. Man, don't be afraid. So what if something don't work?